What if a single teaser, barely over a minute long, could shake the very foundations of K-pop's carefully constructed world? What if a glimpse, just a handful of shots, a few carefully crafted visuals, could make fans across continents wonder whether history was about to be rewritten or whether hearts would be shattered in disappointment? Lisa's dream teaser has ignited something much bigger than hype. It has sparked a global conversation, a wave of speculation that feels less like promotion and more like a seismic event, forcing everyone from fans to industry insiders to re-examine what K-pop can even be. And as you watch this unfold, you'll find yourself asking the same question. Will this be the moment that breaks every record or the moment that breaks us? The very first seconds of the teaser are enough to raise goosebumps. There's something haunting in the way it lingers, a confidence that refuses to explain itself, daring you to look deeper. This isn't just a celebrity releasing content. This feels like a calculated strike, like an entrepreneur launching a product so disruptive that competitors suddenly start scrambling. In business terms, it's the equivalent of Apple dropping the first iPhone. Nobody quite knows what's coming, but everyone knows the world after this will not be the same. And that's the genius behind Lisa. She doesn't just perform. She engineers anticipation. Now, some might ask, isn't this just another music video teaser? But look closer. The design language is intentional. The visuals are layered with symbolism, the kind of imagery that demands decoding. In marketing psychology, this is called the open loop effect. You give people just enough information to trigger their curiosity but withhold the payoff, so the brain keeps looping back, hungry for closure. Netflix does this at the end of every episode. Lisa Blackpink and her team just did it with a teaser. This isn't coincidence, it's strategy. And it's working because fans are not only replaying the teaser but dissecting it frame by frame, creating user-generated content that multiplies the reach without Lisa needing to lift another finger. That's free advertising, the kind companies would pay millions for. But here's where things get really interesting. Beyond the art, beyond the visuals, lies the bigger game, brand value. Lisa Manaban is not just an idol anymore. She is an ecosystem. Every second of this teaser is an asset that can be leveraged across industries, fashion, luxury, digital platforms, even global investment markets. Think about it. When she wears a certain brand in a 2-second shot, that brand's search traffic spikes. When her name trends, shareholder confidence in certain entertainment companies rises. That's influence on a scale that borders on economic power. And if you're paying attention, you'll realize this teaser isn't just about art. It's about positioning Lisa as a transnational brand that redefines what celebrity influence means in the 21st century. Yet with all this power comes risk. Will Dream truly deliver on the expectations? This is where the suspense grows, because history tells us not every groundbreaking teaser leads to a flawless launch. In entertainment strategy, the bigger the promise, the greater the risk of backlash if execution stumbles. Fans are both Lisa's greatest strength and her greatest test. They're ready to crown her queen, but they're also demanding, impatient, and brutally honest. The question lingers in the air. What happens if the full release doesn't match the anticipation? Will hearts break louder than records? And here's a twist you didn't see coming. This isn't just about fans. Industry insiders are watching too, and not just in Korea. Executives in Hollywood, streaming platforms in the West, luxury conglomerates in Europe, they're all taking notes. Lisa's dream is being treated like a case study. A live experiment in how far a single artist's influence can ripple across global markets. It's no exaggeration to say that the stakes here are financial as much as they are cultural. If this project succeeds, it won't just lift Lisa. It will open the door for a new model of artist-led entertainment where idols aren't just performers but CEOs of their own empires. And if you're an entrepreneur, there's a hidden lesson here. Build anticipation, deliver surprise, and watch demand create itself. Now, before we go further, let's pause on something that might make you feel a little uneasy. What if this entire campaign is designed to test us? To measure just how far curiosity can be stretched before satisfaction is delivered? There's an eerie genius to that thought. Imagine you're holding a golden key and every day the lock it opens grows bigger, more elaborate. Would you be patient enough to wait, or would the pressure crack you? That's exactly the kind of psychological tension Lisa's teaser has created. It's not just a video. It's a social experiment, and whether you know it or not, you're a participant right now. And here comes the cliffhanger moment. There are whispers, unconfirmed but impossible to ignore, that the full release might not just be a music video but something far more cinematic. Something that blurs the line between film and performance, a hybrid art form that could set an entirely new precedent. Imagine if Dream is not merely a song but a prototype for the next era of global entertainment, where the boundaries between industries collapse and the idol becomes the architect of an entire cultural movement. If that's true, then this teaser is only the surface of a much deeper ocean. You could leave now, but then you'd miss the moment when the curtain actually rises, and you'd be left outside history looking in. Still with me? Good, because here's the payoff. What Lisa is attempting with Dream is not just a creative gamble. It's a strategic masterpiece rooted in business intelligence. Notice the timing of the teaser's drop. Coincides with major fashion weeks, key earnings calls from entertainment companies, and a noticeable uptick in cross-platform collaborations. That's not random. That's chess, not checkers. Lisa isn't just competing with idols. She's competing with corporations, with entire industries, and doing it by aligning her narrative with global attention cycles. That's the kind of thinking entrepreneurs call leverage, turning one move into multiple wins simultaneously. And yet, even as we break down all these strategies, let's not forget the human heartbeat at the center of it. Lisa's appeal is not just her mastery of business or performance. It's her vulnerability, the sense that behind the flawless visuals there's a dreamer daring to risk everything on a vision. That's why fans are so invested. They're not just watching an artist. They're watching someone put their soul on the line, and that emotional risk is what makes the stakes so high. Will this dream soar, or will it collapse under its own ambition? That tension is what keeps us glued, replaying, speculating, unable to look away. And so we arrive at the final question. Will Lisa's dream break records, setting a new benchmark for K-pop and beyond, or will it break hearts, leaving us wondering what could have been? Truth is, nobody knows, not even Lisa perhaps. But that uncertainty is the point. It's the mystery that fuels retention, the unanswered question that makes us come back again and again. And maybe that's the real genius. Not giving us the answer too soon, but letting us live in the suspense, because in that space of not knowing, anticipation becomes its own form of art. If you've felt that tension, if you've been caught in the pull of this story, then you know this isn't just another video. It's the beginning of something larger, and you're part of it right now. So don't just leave it here. Subscribe, share this journey with someone who needs to feel the same spark, and come back to rewatch, because every detail you missed the first time might just hold the clue to what happens next. This is not the end of Lisa's dream. It's only the first chapter, and you won't want to miss how the story unfolds.